Welcome to today's explainer. If you're someone who constantly feels like you're carrying the literal weight of the world on your shoulders, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're diving straight into a brilliant, highly actionable framework from the book 12 Steps to a Good Life. We're going to break down a structured method to organize, diagnose, and, best of all, neutralize that chronic stress we all deal with every single day. So, answer this honestly for me. Do you secretly believe you can control the uncontrollable? So much of our daily anxiety actually springs from this deep-seated, kind of unconscious illusion that life can and should be under our direct control. You know the drill. We stack our days with shoulds and have-tos, basically trying to build fortresses to keep out the messy chaos of real life. And really, that control obsession, it's just born out of fear. Fear of the unknown, the unexpected. But here's the catch. The only absolute certainty in life is change, and it rarely ever checks our schedule first. Trying to dictate those completely uncertain outcomes, that is the literal root of our modern stress.
Which brings us right to the core philosophical foundation of this explainer: unmanageability. It's simply the quality of being difficult or totally impossible to control. And guess what? It is a completely normal facet of reality. But because uncertainty makes us squirm, we tell ourselves little stories to hide that obvious truth. We fight reality. And honestly, that resistance is exactly what causes us so much suffering. Acknowledging that life is fundamentally unmanageable, it actually develops humility. It forces you to see where your control actually ends and shifts your whole focus toward internal flexibility instead.
So, how do we actually fix this? That brings us to section 1, meet the stress diary. Now, the absolute crucial point here is that this diary is a diagnostic tool. It's not just a venting mechanism. Look, when we're overwhelmed, it's super easy to just complain endlessly, right? But unstructured venting, like, say, complaining to your friend over coffee for 2 hours, that can actually just reinforce our negative thought loops. The stress diary acts as a structured framework. Think of yourself as a detective working a case. Your objective isn't to relive the trauma. It's to gather the raw data of your day so you can observe and diagnose your own unique triggers. Let's break down exactly how you do this. When a stressful moment hits, you're going to log 4 precise pieces of data. Imagine your boss sends you one of those vague emails at 4:55 p.m. that just says, "We need to talk tomorrow." Yikes, right? Okay, so you log it. The exact date and time, your stress level, what you were doing, maybe packing up your desk, and what you were thinking, which is probably something like, "I'm definitely getting fired." Grabbing this objective snapshot lets you see patterns emerge. You start to see exactly who, what, and when your stress is triggered, giving you a crystal clear baseline for understanding yourself.
I really want to zoom in on step 2 from that list for a second: the stress level. You have to estimate your stress on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is perfectly chill, 10 is absolute maximum panic. Why is this so incredibly important? Because quantifying your anxiety objectively separates your emotional panic from the factual reality. When you literally force your brain to assign a number to the feeling, you'll so often realize that the annoyance that felt like a level 9 emergency is actually just a 3. You're engaging the logical part of your brain, and that automatically starts to dampen your body's physical stress response.
Once you've got that data, we run it through our next step. Section 2, the 2 golden questions. Here's the first filter. You have to ask yourself, is it important? Seriously, will this even matter in a month? Will it matter in a year? Is it really worth risking your physical health and your peace of mind to be angry or worried about this? We drain so much of our vital energy on things that, frankly, just don't matter. This question forces us to hit the brakes. It separates the trivial, fleeting annoyances from our genuine, long-term priorities, pulling our focus right back to our actual core values. Now, if the answer to that first question is yes, it is important, then you move to the second, much heavier question. Is it under my control? This right here is the ultimate realization of where our personal power actually begins and where it ends. You have to look in the mirror and ask, can I realistically change this outcome? Because worrying about things you can't realistically control, that just leads to a paralyzing loop of anxiety. You can't change the past, and you definitely can't dictate the actions of other people. Filtering your entries through those questions brings us to our final step, section 3, action or acceptance. Let's walk through this decision matrix, because this is where the magic happens. If a stressor is important, and it is under your control, your outcome is problem solving and action. You make a plan, you do the work. Simple as that. But if the stressor is important and it is not under your control, like a loved one's illness or a massive macroeconomic shift, Your outcome is stress management and acceptance. You manage your internal reaction because you literally cannot change the external event. And finally, if it's not important, honestly, it doesn't even matter if you can control it or not. You let it go. Just drop it completely. Let's really contrast these two paths for a second. Action means proactive problem solving. It means taking immediate, deliberate steps to fix the issues you actually have power over. Acceptance, on the flip side, is absolutely not giving up. It's serene stress management. It's actively calming your nervous system, taking deep breaths, reframing your thoughts, and just letting go of your ego's desperate need to dictate the outcome. The stressor itself might be completely external, but whether you choose action or acceptance, that's a deliberate internal choice that belongs entirely to you. It's amazing how this whole practical exercise connects so beautifully to one of the most famous pieces of timeless wisdom out there, the Serenity Prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You see, the stress diary isn't just some neat little productivity hack. It's a massive, macro-level worldview shift. The diary is literally the tool that gives you the wisdom to know the difference between what requires your courage and what requires your serenity.
So, the biggest takeaway from this explainer is this. You do not have to be a victim to your daily anxiety. By logging your stress, quantifying it, and running it through those two golden questions, you are taking your power back. I want to leave you with a thought to apply to your life right now today. Look at the anxiety you're carrying right this very minute. Is it important? Is it in your control? What will you choose to let go of today?